Hello everyone, this is Ross from retrodreambeam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I know I look ridiculous, but I just want to talk about it. I didn't post a video today. I was actually at the storage unit. I was pulling a bunch of items, and the weather around us recently has been kind of like it'll snow, be super cold for a night, and then the next day kind of gets warm. Some of the snow starts melting. There's a lot of ice. Today, the snow was really melting, a lot of the snow and ice. I was aware of this. I thought I was being mindful of it, but out of nowhere, I just walked. I was walking, wasn't rushing. I had plenty of time. It was actually one of the few days I actually wasn't rushing. I had plenty of time where I just was walking, and then my foot must have, didn't get traction. And I swear it felt like it was about a 1/10 of a second or a quarter of a second where I just boom right there. And my right ear right here hit I was actually salting as well. It hit the container, those containers that have like the plastic ones where people put like salt in, and then like there's a cup in there and you take it out to salt stuff. So like I hit the ear, like I said, it's super fast, and there was nothing to grab onto. There was nothing to catch my arms on. And I got up, and at first my knee hurt a little bit. I was like, oh no, I hope I didn't wreck my knee. My shoulder hurt a little bit. And then my face, it felt like I got scratched. And I was like, okay. I was like, whatever for 30 seconds. And then went back into the storage unit, started pulling stuff. And then my right side of my head started hurting. So I was like, ow. So then I didn't have a mirror, but I went to the car window and I looked at it. And I looked at my ear. I was like, oh no, that thing, it was super swollen. It was super red. There was a little bit of, I'm not going to describe it because it was basically nasty. So, all right. So I didn't really know what to do at that point. I just continued to pull items. I did it really quick. I was planning recording there. Obviously, I wasn't going to record after that. I wanted to get to the eBay stuff. I was still thinking about that. I was like, okay, I'll go to somewhere and figure it out afterwards. But yeah, I had to go to the ER. They had to drain it and then get this wrapped around. It took a couple. We had to go to multiple places. We had to go to an urgent care, and then had to try to find a recommendation for a place that took my insurance into another place. So it was like a disaster just doing the bureaucracy of figuring out to get my ear. I almost got denied at this second place, but then they ended up just doing it. Also, I had to they wanted me to get a CT scan as well. So I got my head scanned. Everything was good. All right. So I like to this sucks. It was painful, but I like to think of the pros in situations like this. So the first pro is I work at home, so I do eBay, so at least I can still work. I know work's not fun, but eBay is fun. But you get my point. I can still function and do that. I'm also gonna have to be extra careful. But then also I don't know how to say it. I don't think I can say it for YouTube, so I'm just gonna say it a roundabout way. I'm still here, and I feel like I'm lucky because of that. Because maybe if that container didn't catch, my head or my ear catch that fall, what if it hit the concrete or whatever, the tar or whatever, whatever it's called, the driveway stuff. I'm lucky I'm here, so I just think about that. I had nothing else to grab onto, and I slipped. And then I like to think of the lessons learned from this. And then I had been delaying taking out my boots, so I think that's basically what it comes down to. Is I did not get out my boots. I had my shoes. I kept going in my head. I'm like, oh, the weather's going back and forth. One day it's I need to wear a t-shirt. The next day I need to wear a sweater. So I was like, I'll get the boots tomorrow. What?
Lesson she thought you were too cool
for. Oh yeah, no. So the lesson was she thought. Wait, I thought I was too cool for what?
For school.
For school? For boots? No. No. I wasn't too cool. There was actually a couple of boxes in front of the closet for the boots. I was also being lazy. I didn't want to move the boxes. Lots of stuff. That was the problem. So I now have my boots, my winter boots. I should have really gotten that done. It's just a lesson learned. Try not to delay too many problems. I know. Time is short in everyone's day, and there is a lot of stuff that you can't just do in one day. But I should have had my boots. Would that mean I didn't slip? I don't know. It was really wet ice. It was just everything was melting. There was still a bunch of snow. It was all over the ground, dripping from everywhere. So it was a lot of water ice, scary kind of stuff for walking on. The example here. And then also, I guess it's weird because I've been more mindful of it. I told Annette's parents and my parents within the past week. I was like, guys, please be careful. Don't slip. I guess I caused it to myself by warning warning the parents, because it happened to me. I was mindful, but I guess just my footing, 1 second, millisecond or whatever, I don't know what to call it. I was down and then back up. It was it was a thing. It was annoying. There's definitely a lot of cons, so I like to think of pros and cons to a situation. Obviously, I have to get this checked up. Money, so like that sucks. It's my health. I might have cauliflower ear if it doesn't get healed up properly, so I'm gonna look like I got into a wrestling match. So maybe I'll just tell people I got into a wrestling match to not mess with me or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, but I have enough people watching where I still want to do the what sold video. So yeah, I'll try to do as many videos as I can. Obviously, my health is gonna be important. My ear is gonna be important. But yeah, I've broken my leg and once, or like my foot shattered in the middle before in high school, and I broke my toes like 5 or 6 times at this point. So I know how that goes, but never had a swelling or an abrasion in my ear. I now know a lot of the terminology for different ear parts, so. All right. So now we're going to jump right into the video. I obviously don't have the stuff. It all did get shipped out. Thankful that Aneta helped me, and the parents also helped me as well. So got a lot of help. It's been a long day. All right, I'm feeling sorry for myself. But let's have some fun. There was some good stuff that shipped out, but sorry, we have to do it with the computer. All right, first up, the thing that sold here. The price right here is not accurate. I'll get into it. We usually take offers, so this is not going to be accurate, but these are going to be the Lord of Chords sleeves. This is like a satirical, I think it's like a deck building or card game where you get like different expansion packs. I've sold them. They're pretty cheap. Sometimes people like to pick up the specific sleeves for the board game. These are standard size sleeves. They kind of have a see-through component, so maybe you have to actually see the back of the cards because it's going to have different musical notes. But yeah, people pick this up. I guess I haven't seen anything too much about this game, but we've sold some of the stuff. It is cheap. These pack, it's only 49 sleeves, as you see up here. It was probably originally a pack of 50. This is why I was able to pick this up. Normally, I still sell incomplete sleeves because someone might have ripped a sleeve and they still need to, get some extras, and then they have extras for when they rip sleeves. That sold for $5.25 plus shipping. Everything's going to be plus shipping. All right, next up is going to be this vintage limited edition like Ritz crackers. This is like a one from 1987. It's just like an empty tin. There's still like marks and wear in it, but people like to collect this sort of stuff. And then they obviously store stuff with it. They like the different brands. People like Ritz. You never really know. I was in like a phase where I was getting a bunch of these empty tins, and you see me sell the Pokemon and Magic the Gathering empty boxes, deck card game empty boxes, as well as the board game empty boxes. People still like having different containers and stuff. Nothing too fancy. We took an offer for $9.26. All right, next up is going to be this is a Christmas tree topper. This is going to be an angel. It's really hard for people to find good Christmas tree toppers. Remember when we were looking a couple years ago when Annette and I got our first tree, it's really hard to find a good one. We ended up getting like an okay one. But yeah, she always looked for this stuff at like estate sales, also Christmas wreaths and stuff. Sometimes they just don't make them like how they used to, and people want like specific, they want this, like this is a beautiful quality angel holiday tree topper. I hope they make it. So I shipped it out today, year or not. This thing got shipped out. This was actually the most recent thing that had sold. So they had bought this and then it shipped out within like a few hours. All right, that was $12.60. Depending on which ones and the quality, you could probably get more. We took an offer right here. You see 1680. We took 1260 or whatever I said. All right. Next up is going to be two of these advanced squad leader mounted board maps. Up here, you see that there's the 34 and 35. The later on the numbers, the more later on in the expansions that they were in. So like the base game and stuff will have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These fold out. People use them as modular things for scenarios. They make their own scenarios. It's for the Advanced Squad Leader miniature game, war game. There's a bunch of modules, and these come inside of them. There's also like some other companies. It's like Hob. I think it's called like Heat of Battle, and there's like Critical something that I think made extra stuff as well. I think these maps can go up into the hundreds. I think the highest I've gotten is like 40 or 50. I've also seen cardboard ones and like cutouts that like lay over these as well. I sold those pretty quickly. This ended up going for $17.49. I actually did not take an offer on this one. This one sold as is, probably because it was the later boards. All right, next up is going to be these easy tarot cards. This isn't anything too crazy. This is going international right here. It just has a bunch of these various different decks. It's used. Some people have a thing that Annetta told me with where they want them new and sealed. They don't want like the magic of them to have been tainted by someone else using them. That's what she said. But yeah, this comes with the book, the cards. It's used. Someone still wants it. Not everyone's going to want to have fresh cards. So $6.50. All right. Next up is going to be the Wii Skylanders portal right here. Just got a bunch of Skylanders at some point. I know Kids like them. I never played the game. You scan them on this. This is the thing that you plug in and scan. This is going to be for like various systems. I'm not too sure which particular systems this one is for. But yeah, I'll pick this up occasionally when I see it. This one, I find it a lot, and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. If it's like a throw-in, I'll take it. $6 for that, so we took like an offer on that. All right, next up is going to be 6 maps for the Europa board game. This is going to be like a board game series. There's a lot of them in it. I think it's like 20 or 12, something like that. I know that's a big range, but there are these in-depth strategy games that are supposed to be going through a bunch of the wars in Europe, and then they'll have thousands and thousands of chit tokens and maps and rule books, and usually I get this stuff in pieces. If I get it complete, well, one, it's hard to count for its completion just because of how many pieces are. There's that many. And then, like, 2, people will still pick up the stuff if they have, they spilled drinks on their map and now they need new ones. They don't want to pay like the $200, $300, $400 for like the full game. They just want to get some replacement maps. These are actually in pretty good quality for maps, you can tell. I like to take pictures of everything. It looks like maybe there's a little pen mark down there, but that's really not a big deal. I don't know if that's supposed to be on there, but yep, $41.99. Did not have to take an offer on this one. We always sell like the bits and pieces. I have yet to get anything even remotely complete for the Europa board games. All right, next up is going to be these Dungeons and Dragons miniature cards. They have a little set symbol down there. This is going to be the, Dragon's Blood War right there. Ton of different sets. These would come in booster packs where you would get actual miniatures. They would have small, medium, and large. And they also had different rarities. That, as you can see, these have the stats on there. So I show people everything that they can get, so they can click on my lots and they can go like zoom in. They get to zoom in and then they get to see exactly what they're getting right there like that. Those aren't my like favorite pictures. This one's a little bit better. That one's a little bit more cleaner. I think So there you go. People like collecting these. They like the cards. They don't have to just be using it for the miniature game. Up here is like the points for it. People like them. $5.67. I got like 10,000 of these before we were recording. So you guys are seeing like the back end. These are like, I still have maybe 100 or 200 listings, but it's like, a lot of 32 where I was selling lots of like 50, 80 or 90 or something like that within these sets. So I've sold some individual rare ones as well, way before we were recording. All right, next up is going to be this. This is going to be an interesting one. Incomplete Star Wars Imperial Tyrants of Lothal board game pieces. So this is going to be the game that is the Star Wars themed of Descent Journeys in the Dark. That's the fantasy version by Fantasy Flight Games. This is going to be the Star Wars one where someone gets to play the Empire, everyone else gets to play the Rebels, and then they have all these expansions. You play campaigns, you upgrade your characters. So this right here, even though it's incomplete, the main important part, I think, in my opinion, is these tiles. The tiles are actually complete in this set right here. This is all of the tiles you need to make all of the scenarios in this particular set. So a lot of the other stuff can be replaceable. You get some generic tokens, you get some of the upgrades, you get these characters, but you can still use your characters from your other expansions in your games. You can use your other item decks or upgrade cards. You don't have to have all these extra stuff unless if they're particular for the campaign. And usually it's just the tiles, which is the hardest thing to not mimic, but have replacement. Say you're missing one of these tokens right here. You can just use a bead. You probably have tons of those tokens in board games anyways. It's kind of like how some games give you just a bunch of coins and you have plenty anyways. So yeah, this ended up going to a repeat buyer for $15.74. Took an offer on that one. All right, take offers on most of our sales. All right, next up is going to be this. War Gods of Egyptius right here. This is Kemru, Master of Words. His little name's right here. I did not pay $5 for this one. Just a miniature in its little case. So this was interesting because this was an auction. I never heard of this game. No one was bidding on these miniatures. So I thought one of two things. One, no one knows what it is, and maybe there's not that many on eBay, so I can make money on eBay by I be the one that has most of them up there. Or two, it was junk and there was a reason people weren't bidding. It ended up being there wasn't that many people having it on eBay, so I got to list a bunch of stuff, or maybe there was some, but not a lot. So I was correct. But during the auction, you don't get much time to think about that. Auctions go very fast, so I think a lot of these I got them on minimum bid, either in a batch of them, as the person whoever owned these previously had wanted to auction them off as a batch, or as individuals. I paid I think $2 in every single one. No one outbid me on them. So that this one right here sold for $17.49. I don't know anything else about this miniature game. I know I've sold enough of them at this point where if I ever see them again, I know people will pay some sort of money for it. I guess I even take an offer on that one. All right. Next up, this is going to be a lot of 25 Vampire: The Eternal Struggle. This is going to be common and uncommon cards. This is actually the Geode game, but this is when they turned into Vampire: The Eternal Struggle by Deckmaster. This is just commons and uncommons. I take the picture of the side so people can see for these older cards, how are the edges looking? People care about this stuff. So yeah, there you go. I lay them all out so people can see exactly what they're getting. I got $9.44. Like I said, I love this art style right here. I think other people like this one too, like this particular art style. Really nice art for cards these days. Also, it's like full art. You don't have to worry about text. It has iconography over here where icons stand for like the actions and words and the rules of the game, which means there's more room for art. $9.44 for that lot. All right, next up, something that you guys just saw. This one's going international, so someone's going to appreciate this one. Some board game stuff is really hard to get in different just countries. That's just how it is. Sometimes like companies design stuff and they only have so many places they can ship it to, or they don't want to figure out how to ship it to other places. So yeah, this is going to be the, which one is this? Return to Hoth. There you go. This is the Return to Hoth scenario. This is incomplete, but once again, it has all of these tiles, which means you can make all the scenarios. If you look up the scenario book, there's a little scenario skirmish map sheet. I think there's supposed to be another sheet, but you can easily look that one up. You can look up like the PDF file of it. Here's like the incomplete upgrade cards and stuff. So like it doesn't have any of the miniatures, not a big deal. You can sub it in, but yeah, same. You have the big character cards there though, right there. And some of like the enemy cards down here. So yeah, if I had these complete, these would go for a lot more. These particular expansions that I'm showing you, like I listed this like higher. This is incomplete, and this is like what I listed at. This actually sold at $20.99. All right, moving along, we have this Warhammer 40K bits and pieces. It's actually cool that I get to show you guys this particular, some of these up close, because normally I just show you like the little baggie. I spent like, I think it was like $100 or something, maybe slightly less. I got basically a big box of a ton of bits and pieces. I probably could have gotten more by individually going through these. They looked anywhere from like vintage 40K stuff to maybe some Blood Bowl stuff, maybe to Underworlds. Well, I think the Underworld stuff is colored, to fantasy, like the actual fantasy stuff. As you can see, I let everyone see all the pictures right there of all the stuff that they're getting. This is just a lot. I've been selling them. As you can see, where did I put it? I guess I don't have it up. Oh, up over here. It's in bin 8. This is baggie number 103. I had like over 160 baggies. They've been slowly selling $20.99. I actually didn't have to take an offer. Like I said, I think if I went through these individual pieces and kind of like paired them up with where they're supposed to go, which I probably could have, I probably would have gotten a lot more money, but I'm okay with this. Someone's going to have fun getting the stuff that they need, and I got to list them over 2 days, and I got to move on. If I sold, what is that, all of them for $20 after fees, it would be amazing. It would be such a big score, and people would be happy, even if there are more expensive individual pieces. All right, enough about that. Next up is going to be this ambush module right here. This is going to be like a World War II board game, Victory Games. I've seen them before, like their stuff. This one's incomplete. It's missing 5% of the stuff. I show people the pictures of all the corners. I want people to see every single thing that they're getting. These are all the sheets right here. Every single sheet, more laid out. I think I actually ran out of pictures for this one. Yeah, I actually ran out of pictures. I only had 24. So they're getting all the sheets, all these cards, the rule book. It looks like it's missing the tokens, some of the tokens. I would bet if this had tokens. I looked it up at the time when I was listing it. But yeah, $44 for this one. So they sent an offer, 5% stuff missing. People still want the replacement stuff. Maybe they just want the box as well. All right, moving along, we have this Ultra Pro Dungeons and Dragons. This is going to be like a little pad. It's called this Pad of Perception, but that's just like their fancy name. This is just going to be a pad to keep track of your characters, like life points, maybe characters you make. You can use this for Magic the Gathering, keeping track of your life. Both players start with 20 life, so you can use that. It's just a little notebook thing. This is like an actual official one. Ignore this little like sticker rip up front up there. That was just like whatever the previous owner had. It's still like sealed in, so it's a little hand. It's a little nice one. Some people like those. I have a lot of notebooks myself for my own collection. $5.77. Nothing too fancy. Still, everything counts. All right, next up, I think this was Anetta's from way before she was with me. This is going to be, she likes BoJack Horseman. I only watched like a couple of episodes. I just couldn't get into it. I'm just not into like animated stuff and cartoons. I don't know. I just can't get into it. But yeah, she saw the whole series. She loved it. She had some posters. She was willing to get rid of this particular one. It's kind of like a weird, my pictures probably don't do it justice. It's kind of like a weird see-through, not see-through. It's like, it has like a lighter feel to it. It's not like cardboard or something. But yeah, people obviously like BoJack Horseman just because like I'm not a fan doesn't mean that other people don't like it. No offer on this one, so $17.49 for that. All right, next up, I got a bunch of these. I think it was the storage unit flipper where I got the police diecast cars. I also got a bunch of cake pans. We used to do really well with cake pans 2020, 2021, and 2022. We did pretty well, so we still see them in cheap. And the storage unit flipper has so much stuff. Like he likes to get the cars and fix up the cars, like actual real cars, that the smaller stuff and stuff like this he sells to people, including us, for cheap. So yeah, this is the count right here. This is actually interesting because Anetta's actually said when she was a child, she was afraid of this particular character. She said when she'd be like driving in the night with her parents or something, she would imagine him following them and popping out through the trees, like haunting her or something. True story, true story. I think she was just afraid of it. For some reason, this scared her. I liked the Count. He was great. I thought he was fantastic. I was afraid of the Goofy ghost from Mickey's Christmas Carol, and then my mom eventually got me one of those Goofy toys, the actual one where he's in like he's in like the shackles and he's in like the light blue ghost form, but as a toy you can't be like see-through, so she used to hide in places and it would scare the living crap out of me. It was like a running family joke. I think she still has it somewhere. It'll occasionally pop up. I'll like go to her place, open a drawer, and I'll see it and she'll be like, I got you. Yeah, everyone's afraid of different stuff, childhood characters. So that's what it's reminding me of. I know it's unrelated to sale. People do like doing cakes. They like these pans. Try to get them as clean as possible. You can see this one is pretty clean. I mean, people are probably still clean it. They like having this insert. I've sold the inserts before, like this. You see this? Let me go up there. This particular insert, okay. See this insert right here? I sold inserts to these cake pans, and they've sold before. I didn't think that they would just sell as, so maybe people still like to keep them in their full form and collection. $12.59 for this, which is about what we got, like $8 to $25. 25 would be like the high end for like, you know, a very specific, unique shape. All right. Next up is going to be a combo order. This was 2 lots of these Napoleonic Prussian 1 out of 32 scale plastic figures. That is the Green Army men's size. Got a bunch of these. They did pretty well for us. We still have a bunch more. I think people can paint these up. I saw someone do like a blog. I almost said blog. I'm sure someone did a vlog about it. Yeah, there's a lot of older gentlemen that have a lot of cool, like, when I'm like looking up this stuff, I find their old like websites and forums and stuff, and they still keep it posted. I find it very wholesome. Sometimes I'll just start reading their thing. They'll do like setups, and they'll actually like write out a story maybe for a particular battle. People really get into their hobbies, and I think it's awesome. It's awesome. Like, I'm into my own hobbies, and Anetta likes her own. Everyone likes their own stuff. So seeing someone else like passionate about their hobby, and then we get to sell them this stuff, and they're probably excited for it. So I think they each sold for $19.59 right here. I don't see an offer. I don't think there's offers. So there's that batch, and then this batch right here. I think these are mostly the same stances, but yeah, I'll lay them all out so people can see exactly what stance they get. And then sometimes when I get these big batches of the same soldiers, sometimes the stances are different, so someone might matter. I have to give the person what they purchased right there. Oh, so they must have, maybe they sent an offer on this one. Let me scroll down for that. I guess so. Oh, no, they paid at 2 different times. No, they also did not send an offer, so they just paid slightly more for that one. I don't know why I had them at a different price. Is it a different count? Oh, 21 figures, 25. Okay, we figured it out, everyone. All right, it's been a day. All right, next up is going to be this. This is some, I was struggling. I think it was Me Card Thanatos robot toy figure. I was really struggling to like translate that with like different programs and stuff like that. Couldn't really figure it out. I think I saw some like open versions. This sold relatively quickly, so maybe someone's getting a good deal. Good for them. I'm happy to sell it. $13.99. They even sent an offer. So if this is going into like someone's collection, and if this was like worth more, not a big deal for me. It was a harder thing for me to find. I didn't really see any. I think I was like the only seller. I could have asked more for it, being the only seller. I must have at the time just went to 20, and we had a 30% sale, so went to 14. Like I said, no big deal. Someone's gonna appreciate it. If I got another one, I wouldn't know how to price that one. It's rare for me to have that happen, but it just was hard to look up. All right, next up, I got really lucky with this. This is going to be 3 Malifaux word miniature rule books. This is like a miniature game. It kind of has this like doll spooky horror. It's not too gory, but there's some, and it's kind of like animated a little bit. Yeah, you pick like different factions. There's like a clown faction, you know, the voodoo dolls and stuff. Like, people like this right here. See, there you go, all the different art and stuff, the front and back. This is like a core book with some expansions right here, and you see the miniature stats in the right there. Try to pick like pictures that like pop out for various people. Table of contents so someone can see what's in here. Yeah, kind of just like an interesting game, at least. I think it's a skirmish one, so I think you use less miniatures, which makes the game cheaper. But yeah, I have a ton of these books unlisted. I listed a bunch. They weren't selling too fast. I'll occasionally get a sale like this. So these 3 sold for $42.52. But I think the last time I got a chunky sale from Malifaux was maybe a couple of years ago. So like I said, I still have a bin. I don't know. I think they might still be making the game. This is older stuff, but yeah, people still read up on it. As you can see in these miniature books and lore books, miniature books and RPG books, there's like lore, you know, designer's notes. People like reading this, they're reading about the magic in the game, and they like getting into it. It's not just about playing the game. So yeah, I was happy. I got $42.52. I forgot about that sale. It's been a long day, like I said. All right, last up, I think. Is this last up? Yeah, they've just paid at separate times. So yeah, this is last up right here. This is gonna be a lot of World War II micro armor metal bits and pieces. I already told you I got like the holes, which are the tank bases. You'll see that in a second, and also like a lot of turrets. These are actually pieces, like they're tiny. These are like pieces that people will know like what they go to, different turrets for different, mostly like tanks. I'm sure there's some other stuff in here, but yeah, I show people everything that they're going to get. So this was 100 pieces. This was a weird one because I had this listed. Someone sent me a picture. They circled every piece they wanted, and they gave me like a $20, $30. I'm like, okay, I'll do the work to like. So I had to dump them out. Normally I don't deconstruct listings, but when someone they did the work, as in they told me like, hey, this is what I want. This is the price I'm going to pay. So I was like, okay, I'll do the work. I did it. They paid, boom, boom. But then I had to relist this. So then I had to do a whole new listing, which I did at the time. And now I got to sell this one. This ended up going, I think they did not send an offer. So $41.99 for that. Can't really tell if it was an offer or not because it's like combined on the payments that I'm looking at down over here. But yeah, they got this right here. And same situation with this set of 36. These are going to be different tank turrets right here. This was also had more at one point. That same person sent me the picture, circled all the ones he wanted. And then so I sold him pieces from the other lot and this one. This is a different person buying all this stuff here. So that was pretty cool that I like, you know, got actually rewarded for deconstructing a listing and making a new one and having it still work out. It was work, but yeah, this ended up going for maybe $27.99. So $69.98 for the two. But then they went ahead and later on they bought this right here. They bought these 6. These are just little turrets for like infantry. This one actually has like an infantry figure in it right there. This ended up going for $6.99. And I think I forgot to grab the picture, but they also bought 5 actual tanks. I'm assuming they actually go with these turrets. I'm assuming they understand like what the different pieces for these World War II tanks and stuff and vehicles are. I don't. That's not my realm. I've been getting good finding this stuff, making lots and getting people to buy them. I'm just not knowledgeable on all the specifics. I know a little bit more than when I first started selling miniatures, like 5% more about the World War II stuff, but that's about it. Just like 5% more. I know people are really into it. All right, that's everything. It's been a day. I'll do my best with the future videos. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at the links down below. Have a better, safe day than me. Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time.
What?
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I can't even. All right.